This is Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas.
She got that gushy $1 million.
So are you saying like one of those adults could be a dog?
Yeah, dog could be.
But that
No, come on. So
Nikki Brew.
You sound like you're at least in your 20s. So my advice would be like, go get an apartment and maybe test out some dating sites because I don't.
Courtney Harbaugh.
Okay, well, first of all, was it a suspect or was it his significant other? That's an honest question then.
Angelique Young.
Run the risk of getting a fine, or you run the risk of potentially going to jail for coming here. It doesn't mean you can't stay home and do it. How many people?
No, that's wrong.
Ivan Alexander.
I mean, the video could have been done a little differently. I mean, I just think, again, to me, it's extreme, but that's just my opinion. So I'm going back to my wine. We're good.
And Dr. Christina Palin.
Look who he was for Trump, and look at how he's getting nothing from that circle, right? And even
wonderful host. I'm so glad the whole team is here. Yeah.
Hey. Sit back and enjoy the conversation. I'm sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is Common Courtesy. I'm your host and moderator, Sean Nicholas, and that was Rico Davis with Stay Proper. I'm sorry, I love that song. I'll be back here backstage shaking my ass. Like I love that song too. So we're here tonight with our lovely co-host making her triumphant return. Back to the panel, we have Angelique Young. How are you tonight?
I am so good, guys. I am so happy to be back. I am finished with my semester of school, so I've got a couple of weeks to let my hair down and kind of have a good time. And here I am with you guys. So I'm glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back. Ivan, right under Angelique, how are you tonight as well?
I am wonderful. And yes, this is cranberry, not wine. It should be wine for this discussion, but it's just cranberry juice. So we're good.
We're good. I'm drinking, a little fruit punch over here. Dr. Palin, how are you this evening?
Are you talking to me? Oh, yeah, I think you froze up for a second.
Did I?
Yes, you froze up. I think maybe I froze up too. But I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on again.
Thank you for being here again. I love having your opinion. I love, crossing swords every now and again. But let's get started on some fun shit because there's a lot of things that happened over the weekend. I lost a dear friend, I'm going to talk about her a little bit more next episode. But I know if she was here, she would want us to have something to laugh at. And I recently, my cousin showed me this video that's gone viral on Facebook. And it just kind of shows why you shouldn't be going on Facebook Live and why we don't do our show in the car driving.
Great.
All day, bitch, move, bitch. Get out the way. I'm going to show you how to turn up on your motherfucking birthday, bitch. Woo! God damn it, I just got an accident and I got to keep going. So I'm going to call y'all the fuck back. I got to go. Or whatever, because I'm not stopping.
Okay, granted, she just committed a crime.
Oh, my God.
But I saw this earlier and I'm just in tears. I just kind of want to go to you guys and just kind of get an initial reaction on how you feel about seeing that. Angelique, let's go to you first.
I have no I literally have no words. I was introduced to this maybe 10 seconds before we started this. And I'm still red. Like, I can't even, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't know what's worse, being on the line, the look in the whole left the whole time. She wasn't even looking at the phone. That's the worst part. She was looking out the window to the left. And then I wonder what she hit. What did she hit?
I did too, yeah.
I know what she hit. Like, I've heard some stories, like, she hit another car, like, basically, and that's why she's.
I got to go.
They're gonna find her.
I got to go.
Oh my God.
Ivan.
I would have shot her. I would have shot her. It's just done. I mean, her airbag went off. She was definitely not doing what she's supposed to be doing. And then to go, oh, I can't stop. I got to go. I got to keep going. Yeah, I'd have shot her.
Yeah. Dr. Phelan, what was your initial reaction after seeing this? I think she's frozen.
So I'm just changing the things to see. Yeah, no, I was changing the broadband to see if I stop freezing. My first reaction, you know what it was? It was that, is this being made up or is this real?
No,
like, that's how I felt. Like it was so, like, you know, when something is so real, you can't believe it's real. That's how I felt.
Well, I think Patrick knows her. She lives in St. Pete, according to him.
Yeah, I heard.
So let her know, Patrick, I'm looking for her. Don't drive anywhere near me. Seriously.
Right.
All right. Now that we're done with little shits and giggles, let's get on with this show because I have some words for this woman. Recently, in an interview with an Canada interview with TMZ, Caitlyn Jenner, who's now running for California governor, she is now opposing trans girls playing in girls' sports. I just kind of want to show a clip from that.
This is a question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girls' sports in our school.
That's odd because I remember her at the ESPYs, I think it was 2015. She was actually congratulating trans girls for participating in girls' sports and being who they are. So, wow, I think it's kind of crazy. It's kind of funny to hear this. Kind of went to the panel and see what your initial reaction to this. I want to go to Angelique first, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, this is well, I didn't have much to say about the last one. I have a lot to say about this. This is outrageous to me. Caitlyn has built her entire life and career off of being an athlete. And she's been under the gun and under different kinds of hormone therapy while she was a runner or while she was doing her Olympic lifetime. There's a whole TV show based on her life and the things that she's done. And if she thinks for a second that didn't give her an edge or a thing or any kind of one up on the competition, like, she's crazy. She's absolutely batshit crazy. And so you've built a life out of these things. And now that you're done and it's dusted and it's over and it's been decades, you think it's okay to just turn your back on it. Doesn't matter if you had a penis then or if you don't now. It doesn't matter. It's the sport. It's the livelihood. These people are living their life trying to get through high school, trying to get through college on scholarships and having the same opportunities for doing what they love. There's a difference between a cross-dresser or a transvestite joining a sport than a trans person. A trans person is fully dedicated to the evolution of themselves, to reaching a standpoint where they no longer are in transition. Right. Usually, under most circumstances, there are certain other things we can consider like non-binary identifiers or asexual or things like that, and we could go deeper into it. But at the heart of it, most of these people who are pursuing these athletic achievements are not worried about anything else. They literally love a sport, or this sport has helped them. It has helped with their mental health. It has helped with their physical health. You're denying them the ability to get the proper care they need in a really fucked up kind of way, you know? But that being said, I mean, she irks my nerves. I feel like I want to say this is a political gambit, only it's not, because she's in California, and California is very pro gay everything. So right. I can't even imagine where her brain was this morning. And the idea of the last little bit about protecting, what are you trying to protect? Protecting girls in what way? What is this even about? Like, I don't understand where this is going. If she's totally going on that route of saying like trans women are predators, I'm like, did you just call yourself a predator?
I think that one thing that she was kind of really saying, because I absolutely think it is a political move, Angelique, because if you remember, she has been a Republican, but she hasn't supported Trump. But a lot of people I just saw her political ad campaign come out, and it had, pictures of her as Bruce, being in sports and little girls playing and things like that. That was kind of odd, but I think it is a political move, because she's trying to win over those Trump voters she's trying to win over those Trump voters in California, I feel. Ivan, I'm going to go to you next. What was your opinion after you heard this?
Well, I do like Angelique's point of view. It's a different point of view than what we had before with just the three of us. And I'm going to say that, yes, I think it's very political. I think she's doing what she has to do to get where she wants to get to. And as Angelique said, she made her claim to fame and everything she did in sports as a male. So now that she's a female, wipe that away and start from scratch. Now, my only concern is, and this is where I'm still on the fence to a degree, because even as Dr. Palin said before, if there's hormone levels that have you've done the transition, you're taking the hormones, you're now biologically, chemically female. If you were still born a male from birth, there's genetics, there's tissue, there's structure, there's bones, there's everything else that still gives you more. And I won't say it in a bad way, but it gives you have a different build. So if you're still, yes, you identify now as a woman, even though you're born male, you still have some traits that are going to give you an advantage to a degree over the naturally born female. Now, like I said before, Layla Ali, total female, can kick my butt, understandable. But your everyday average person, as far as that goes, it's still an issue to me that goes kind of both ways, because you are genetically a male who, even though you've got chemicals and everything else going on and hormones and everything else, there's still certain building blocks there that have you as a male that may give you an advantage over the females. That's my only point there I'm trying to make. I got you, Angelique, shaking your head. I hear what you're saying.
I'm writing. I have a response for you, but I'm going to write it down and then I'll wait until after Dr. Palin goes. I want to hear what she has to say first.
Dr. Palin.
Okay, ready? So here's the science, first of all. So we're talking about a generation of people in high school. In high school, we have hormonal surges, okay? We all know, we call them pubertal surges, basically, where we have increased hormone production, whether we're male or female. So testosterone peaks in high school. It peaks right around 20s. And this is the group of population of people that we're talking about. So anyone who is male, genetically born a male, is not going to be able to, no matter how much your mind is dedicated to that, you're not going to be able to stop the testosterone internal production. Now, there's 2 points to it. One, the surge, and the other is the suppression. The suppression of the hormones takes years. It's not like, let's say at 11, let's say a trans female is starting the transition at the age of 11. It would take the next 15 to 20 years, especially that person is still going to go through the testosterone surges, right? There's really no medication we have on the market right now that is strong for the surge period, because during the surge period, testosterone is just gushing out. And it's very difficult to suppress it by suppressant medication. But once that kind of fizzles out, like in the mid-20s to 30s, it becomes a little bit easier to suppress testosterone. So now we're talking about the third decade of life, and most of these people are not the people we're talking about competing. Because in their 30s, they're already either made it or they're not going into sports. So someone like Caitlyn Jenner, who's in her 60s, I believe, she, first of all, her testosterone production has gone down substantially. So she's not in a category where, that would be even a competition, because she could easily be suppressed by the current medications we have to suppress testosterone. And on top of it, her biological clock has started to tick down where she's not producing the same testosterone levels and she's gone through the surges. So to me, it is a question of unfairness, and we cannot judge it based on a mental dedication. We have to find another route or there may be some people now, there are a lot of things that I got when I posted about this on my Facebook about, oh, there are females who produce testosterone. Let me put that to rest. A biological female produces trace amounts of testosterone. Definitely not to a level where I can compete with a male. Now, if I'm a biological female, but I have some hormonal disruption, some kind of a polycystic ovarian disease, which is a lot of people know, or syndrome, PCOS as it is known, then I am producing excessive testosterone. But even when I'm producing that excessive testosterone, it is not that kind of pure testosterone that deposits into the muscle. What that is that testosterone is an aberrancy, and what that testosterone is it's going to give me hair like a man. It's not going to make me strong like a man.
So what you're saying is, Dr. Palin, just to say for time, you agree with Caitlyn's comments. You agree with... I
agree that it's a fairness issue. It's not fair. Unless you weed out and test the only people that should be able to say that this is about transphobia and this and that, if you get 100 trans females and you get their blood and you show me testosterone levels that are reduced at that age group, then I would stand down, but you will never be able to show me that.
Okay, so I just want to read a comment from Jess. She said, I did bring up that on the last post, that a lot of people do not have a clear picture of the difference between trans people and transvestite and drag performers. Thought that was a good point, and that was brought up on the comments following on the one that was a crazy post that we did last episode. Angelique, you want to respond?
I just want to talk about where this has come from. As the trans person on the show, my personal, as an athlete, as somebody who competed in swimming and competed in cheerleading and gymnastics and track and field, and a host of other things that I did for fun outside of my life. So the comment was made that hormones change hormones versus genetic body structure. So there's two things that you need to realize: that each individual person is capable of being completely different in their response to hormones and their response to their biological body. Just because you take hormones doesn't mean you're going to turn out like a fish stick and walk away like a woman. It doesn't mean your body's going to take to it either. There are actually trans women that I can call out. I can even call one on the phone right now if you like. I got a lot of resources. When you take your hormones, it changes the body. And she's right. For some people, it takes years. It takes a long time to undo the damage, depending on how much testosterone your body has made, how many things you've done to your body, how you worked out, how you did it. But what it can never do is actually give you an advantage against anybody who is working. It is physically impossible. You have to put in work and train your body. You have to eat the right things. As an athlete, this is just an athletic standpoint. This has nothing to do with genetics and nothing to do with biology. If you want to run against people, there are women who run faster than men. And I'm pretty sure Layla Ali could knock the fuck out of a boxer if she wanted to, male or female. It makes no difference. So don't put that up against each other, because it makes no sense to me. It's bullshit. I'm going to call it what it is. What it comes down to is that people compete on a level based on their own body. Now, what you are right about is genetic structure is something that you cannot change. It is what it is. If you are a certain body type, you cannot really truly change it if your body is not built for it. You can work, but it's going to take you a lot longer to become a muscle twink when your body is built as a twink. You just cannot. That transition takes time for a male, a stronger male in any sense. When you're built like a bull or built like a brick house, like the song suggests, you are literally built that way. You can never shrink down beyond that point, right? So you can't change your body structure beyond a certain means. Your bone structure is your bone structure. Only throughout aging does your bone structure literally shrink. We see that in any of our historical pictures. We see that in our grandparents. We see that as physical proof. It's an undeniable fact that it happens, right? So if we're talking about children, there's the little girl, her name is I Am Jazz. She had a wonderful TV show on the Discovery Channel or AMT or some shit like that. She's absolutely beautiful. She's a wonderful little girl who did the whole transition process before the age of 13, meaning she had a full vaginoplasty done to her. They had to grasp the marks from her thighs to make her vagina. She was in no position at any point in time in her life at that point in time to be any more stronger than any other girl in her class. She could not compete at any higher level than anyone in her school or her class or her grades, not mentally, not physically, in any way, shape, or form. So I can shoot down everybody's thing because she was active. She did love sports. She did participate in them. And the only reason why she had to stop during her high school career was because of her surgery. So no, I don't agree with anything any of you are saying because it's on an individual basis and it is completely determined by how strong they were before they started their hormonal treatment. So if he was a basketball player and now she wants to be a basketball player, then yes, you're right. It is slightly unfair because he's trained his body harder and longer than any of those girls. And he probably was working more than any of those girls. But you should not deny him his dreams because of that. Because that basketball is a team sport. It doesn't matter if he can shoot a 3-pointer. That doesn't take more energy than it does precision. Now, if we're talking track and field and we're talking running and racing, that's different. That person has been running their whole life. But if a girl is running her whole life, she has just as good of a chance to beat his time as anyone else. They've always set the standard for men and women based on not anything other than societal standards.
Not performance-based levels, yeah.
Yeah, it's not performance-based levels. If I have girls from my high school who ran faster than any man, but they were never allowed to compete against the man because societal standard says that women are meant to be weaker, and that is not true. Women can be stronger and do better things than men. It has been historically proven. So even what you want to say, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying that there's proof in the world that it doesn't matter. If you really want something, you're going to push harder. If I have to go up against a man or a woman now in my life, I know that I have to work 10 times harder to do that. My body structure is completely different. I just posted a photo op from past 5 years of what my body used to look like versus what it looks like now. I'm a lot softer in 5 years than I was 5 years ago. My muscle production is down. I'm chemically castrated. I don't produce testosterone at all. My level is a 4 naturally. I almost don't create it. Now, no other woman I know has ever been able to take hormones and do that with no progesterone and no testosterone blocker. I don't take anything but estrogen in a shot once a week, and that's it. And my body has literally told me, you are female. I have my own tits, my ass, everything is me. So no, this argument, you would have to actually go in and talk to each student on an individual basis and know how much they've been training or how powerful they are to start with. If he's running at 59 seconds for a mile, then yes, he's going to have an advantage because he trained for it, not because he chose to be a woman. That's not the advantage here we're talking about. We're talking about hardcore work. So yes, in the event of things like White Chicks and movies where athletes join the other team so that they can continue their sport heritage, yes, and face false worlds, absolutely, 100%. Deny them. But in the real world, let people be and let them run. Let them race and let them prove what they can do before you take away all their fucking rights. You kill someone's joy. Imagine if somebody told you you could never be a doctor because you're a woman. Imagine if somebody told you you couldn't do something because you're a black man. Think about what you're doing to somebody's future. You are ruining somebody's life. You are taking away their entire opportunity to do something that they love because they chose to be who they are. This is not a problem of gender. This is a problem of moral value. You're looking at genitalia and letting that determine how you treat somebody before you know anything about them. You don't know if they're black, they're white. You don't know if they're 4'11". You don't know if they're 6'7". You don't know if they're 300 pounds or if they're 110 wet. You don't know shit. So don't make judgments on people and don't make rules for people before they ever have a chance to step on a fucking plate. Don't do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, so just to wrap this topic up, I mean, I kind of agree with, I definitely agree with Angelique because, as a kid growing up, all of my cousins were girls and older girls. Like, it didn't matter how old I was, they were always stronger than me. So to go back to these gender roles and say oh, certain men, whatever, have more strength. I'm like, I agree with her. If you're training out there, you're just as strong. Like, there are people, we don't know what people can do unless we know, I agree with her when it's based on performance It's not based on performance, actual performance levels. You know what I mean? It's not based on actual evidence of actually seeing this. But a few, like Anna's Escamani said in the video I played last time, is based on a few far right wing, sensationalized stories, So I agree with that. Like, let the kids play, because as a kid, we used to play all together. It didn't matter if you're a boy, girl, or whatever. We played together, and I felt like it was more of a fair thing. Hello, Barry. How are you? Welcome to the show. Is anyone else want to say anything before we go to the next on topic? Just we got one more minute.
No, I mean, I see all sides of it. I mean, we're all also at different age levels, and we've all had different experiences in life. So, again, everybody has their opinion, definitely. And I don't say yours is wrong or right or the whole 9 yards. I take it all in and look at the big picture. So, yes, I agree with a lot of what Angelique said.
And Dr. Palin, do you have anything?
And Dr. Palin, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that her approach of individualized is something that we have a common ground on. So I'm 100% but I don't think that it should be an unfiltered, unmonitored process. I think that the trans females should be giving blood samples to make sure that their testosterone levels are not at a level where it's going to allow that training to get you much further. So I don't agree with the science aspect of what she said, that some people are, as a woman, you're stronger sometimes than a man. We're talking about athletic training. We're talking about like little 5-year-old girls playing tennis with 5-year-old boys. We don't do that because that is a totally unfair competition, even from the training time. So why don't we have women play men in singles in tennis? So
I disagree with that, because I've seen girls. I mean, I went to sports camp. I've been in sports like all of my life, and I've seen girls play with boys and actually beat them. The whole thing is like, the one thing is, it's kind of like regressing back. I agree with that. Like, the people think it's a fairness issue, but like, these are people that don't really like. She's played a sport, yes, but like, that didn't really play sports. Like, I'm an athlete, and I don't agree with that. Like, I just don't agree, because then some people said that let's start like a trans league or whatever, whatnot. I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like the Negro leagues when the black people were playing. Jackie Robinson couldn't play with the Dodgers. So like, are we going to regress back to that? Absolutely not. That is absolute discrimination if we go to that. You know what I mean? I'm not yelling at Dr. Palin. I'm just yelling at I'm not yelling at Dr. Palin. I'm yelling at her comments. But I'm yelling, hold on. I just want to finish. Sorry. I wasn't yelling at you. I just wanted to finish that. Like, it's just, the point to me is moot, because these are little children, and we're talking about, and I've seen, like I said, in sports camp, girls will play with boys and they will actually compete, and it's a fair competition, because girls actually like start developing faster than boys, earlier. That's what I mean. I'm not a doctor, but I think it's just unfair to even try to like discriminate against someone, because then it's a slippery slope. What's next? They're not saying anything about trans boys. They're not saying anything about them being in football and getting like bang, like, damn, they're okay. That's the next step. So then after that, if they ban that, what's the next step? So I think it's a slippery slope. I think it's an open conversation we should have, but I think honestly, it's unconstitutional. Like, it's for me, it's unconstitutional to tell someone they can't do something because of whatnot. But anyways, we got to move on because we're running out of time. I just want to hit this. Dear Abby topic real fast. I thought it was kind of crazy. Here we go. It says here, Dear Abby, a woman writes in, I just got engaged and I couldn't be happier. But my fiance is referred to by the entire town as the bad guy because of his past. He's changed a lot and I really want this to work out. But people come to me and say he's not marriage material and they try to break us up. One of his exes in particular. He told me about his past and I don't judge him for it because everyone has a past. He really wants to get married. How can I have a wedding without everyone knowing about it, especially our family, marriage bound in, excuse me. So I just kind of want to go to Ivan first. Ivan, how did you feel about this? And what advice would you give this woman?
Okay, my first question is, are you marrying him or the freaking town? Okay.
Yes.
Get over it. If you're marrying him, then marry him. Your family, hey, they can get over it too. But the bottom line is, because I personally don't care what people think anyway, but I'm just saying, if you're going to marry him and you've given him your all and you said he's changed, his past is his past, then marry him. Screw the town. That's it. Done.
Hello. Dr. Palin, let's go to
Where's
you.
my mic? Let me turn the mic real quick.
I mean, this is such a biased question for me because I'm gonna marry a bad boy just like that. So of course I'm gonna agree with it. I'm marrying a guy who's totally from a different lane, a bad boy, everything that you can think of, prison 3 times. So
Okay, go for it. There we go.
But the heart and oh my God, and everything is fine.
But you're marrying him, not anybody else. You're marrying him.
Fine ass.
All right,
well,
Angelique.
That's what the rest of them, I'm sure. But go ahead.
Angelique, how did you feel? What advice would you give this woman?
Well, I agree with Ivan on that. I'm like, you're marrying this person. If my thing is, it feels a little sketch, right? He's a changed person. I'm wondering if she comes from money and if we're gonna see an obituary in like a month or two after she's married.
Oh my God.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little frantic because of how she ended it. She's like, he really wants to get married, but I don't know how to get married without the whole town knowing. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, girl, just go to the courthouse and get married. Like, who's going to stop you? You don't have to have a giant wedding. If everybody is against you, just go marry the man and be with the man and be done. Exactly. Right? Like, that's what any other person would do. But at the same time, on the other hand, I'm like, girl, maybe you should like stop and like do a little historical show. As long as all his exes are still living, then yes, go ahead and marry him. And this is his first time, because I'm just always worried that somebody's going to end up in a body bag and he's going to end up on a jet, like that's just how I think. That's just me, right? But no, I think honestly, like that would be my best advice to her. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's you and him. And if it ends up being a Britney Spears moment, you can always get annulled a week later, just go to the and live your best life. You only get one. Don't live it for other people. Live it for yourself. That's my advice.
Hello. Come on, advice column. I agree with the entire panel because you know what? It's between the two of them. It's your decision if you're to marry them. If people think he's a town bad boy and he's telling you he's changed and you agree with it, then do it. You know what I mean? Like, who are these other people? But I think she should take it into consideration. I think that she has, because she's writing to Dear Abby and kind of writing to us. But I think that she should. I think the bad thing is, though, the red flag for me in this whole thing is the fact that she wants to hide it from her family. Like, it's one thing from the town, but your family, you know what I mean? Like, that's a red flag for me. If you can't marry, if your family's not okay with it, I've heard a lot of successful marriages that, the parents didn't like the husband, and then 20 years later they were wrong. That's often with my life. A lot of people are wrong about things when I say stuff. But anyway, that's not about my life. But, I just think that it's about these two. So anyone else?
Dominic,
so maybe he's ready and she's not.
Yeah, Dominic agrees with us. He says, if you're going to hide a marriage, why do it? Tell everyone else to deal with it. And, he also said, oh, wait, no, this is Jess. Jess says, laugh my ass off, fuck them. Tell them to mind their own damn business. Right. I agree. Like, come on. Like, being a celebrity and shit like that, people are going to be in your lives, but these are like regular ass people. And I think that she's probably a popular person. Everyone's in her damn life. I kind of hate that shit. Like, people always got to say something like, oh, maybe you should, not date him or lose some weight. It's all bullshit. Tell him to shut up.
I will say to Dominic, though, I might hide my Martian, but not the marriage. I'm sorry, Dominic. I had to go there. It was just, I'm an opportunist. I had to go there.
I saw it, but I was like letting it go. I was like, it's all right.
I couldn't help it. I have to go there. I'm an opportunist. So yes, I will always have the Martian.
Right. All right. So he's laughing. Thank you. So let's go to our last topic, because this is really, that's the Dear Abby one. This is about the marriages. One more topic. Oh, he's a few drinks in. Hello. Oh, hey. What you drinking?
He could come be on the panel. I know Dominic very well.
Hello. So let's go to our last topic. We're talking about is ending the Florida mandate too soon. Governor DeSantis just signed a bill that he's going to end the mask mandates and whatnot locally. And July 1st, here's a little of what he said.
DeSantis moving to fully open the state, including bars and restaurants, allowing for full capacity. And if it's less than that, local leaders will have to justify it.
Every business has the right to operate. Some of the locals may be able to, they can do reasonable regulations, but you can't just say no. You can't say no after 6 months and just have people twisting in the wind.
So I kind of want to go to you guys because, I actually want to go to Dr. Palin first because she's our doctor. Okay, Dr. Palin, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like this is too soon or, this is a political move?
I think it's a political move. I honestly, it's just so to show Trump again, like we talked last time. He wants to always show Trump because Trump is in Florida. He wants to show Trump that, we're on the forefront of everything. It's just, and I feel like they're doing this just to be against the Democrats, and I totally disagree when Republicans act this way. So I think it's all a political move. There's no reason to end the mandate until you get herd immunity, and we're not there yet.
Okay. And Ivan, how are you feeling?
Well, I think it's too soon because in general, people are nasty. I'm sick of most of them anyway. I still go to the gas station and grab the actual hand towels and before I grab the pump because I don't trust these people. So me personally, I will still go to a restaurant and put a mask on. I will still sanitize because I think people are disgusting. They're just nasty. So before the pandemic, they were nasty. They're still nasty during the pandemic, and they'll be nasty after the pandemic. So I'm going to protect myself.
Absolutely. I just want to read Justice's comment real fast. She says she fully agrees with the governor on this one. She's a devil's advocate. It's time to start moving on, but within reason. True. I agree with that.
I think it's going to blow up in our face. Honestly, I think it's going to blow up.
What's also in the mandate is locally you can kind of control how you want to open your city. Angelique, let's go to you. How do you feel? Because I know you've been, you had some friends that were affected by COVID. So how do you feel?
As far as Florida goes, I'm indifferent. I don't, this is crazy for me to say, but I don't give a fuck because it's been open. We're open now. No business you go to makes you wear a mask. They don't make you do anything. Like they offer you the opportunity to do it. But once you sit down at a restaurant, no one keeps their mask on, like takes a bite and then puts it back. No one's really following the protocol. I went out this whole week for the first time in a year. I had visitors coming to town. Everybody was vaccinated. I thought I was doing the right thing. But everywhere we went, it was like nobody's cared. The beaches have been open. Everything has been open. There's nobody in the area who's really following the rules hardcore. There's a couple of places I went to where they're like, while you're walking around, please have on your mask. But other than that, nobody seems to care. So all he's doing is just verbally stating what our situation is. Every other state I've talked to, everybody's pissed at Florida. Everybody hates Florida because we ain't been listening to the rules. We just been living our lives. We just been doing whatever we want to do according to them. It doesn't matter if you stayed home all year like me and didn't go out, quit your jobs and worked from home. It doesn't matter what you did on either side of the fence. Florida's open. We were only closed really for 2 months, honestly, before everything started to open back up again. So this ain't nothing but him just declaring what's already going on. He's just saying now y'all are not going to get fined for it. You're not going to get in trouble for it anymore. It's all he's doing. And I think at the end of the day, he's doing it mostly not only for political gain because I was a Governor Christie or somebody's running for governor now, Christie or whatever. And then you got, with the renewal, like she said, with Trump being in town and being here, he wants to give people what they want. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. That for him, it's never been about safety or us. It's about the economy of Florida. Mm-hmm. It's about making money for Florida. He opened up freaking Disney World and Universal Studios, baby. When he did that, I knew he didn't give a fuck. He was like, oh no, tourists, you can do them. He's like, when you land here, take your mask off. Come visit. Come stay here. Go to these. Okay, you got to have a mask on you, but you don't got to wear it. You can just, as long as you show it, that's good. Okay, we got vaccines. Yo, get a vaccine. Whoever wanted a vaccine, go get it. He gave that. He was like, I'm down with all of it. If it opens this bit faster and puts my check up again, I'm for it. He literally been running this like a salesman. I kid you not. If this was a car, Florida would have been sold to 17 people all at once. He don't care. He don't give. And he's over there. He could have got COVID and he fine because he can afford the doctors can give him that miracle shot. You know, he's friends with Trump. So Trump was like, "Oh, you got COVID? I got you. Nobody got to know." You know what I mean? Like that's how he is. So I'm like, it don't matter to him. Like this is one of them arguments that I'm not even gonna have. Like it's a joke. We're the fucking laughing stock of the U.S. Just so y'all know. If y'all didn't know, I went to California. We're the laughing stock. Pennsylvania, we're the laughing stock. West Virginia's laughing at us. Like red or blue state, it makes no difference. Everybody's laughing at Florida right now. They think we're either crazy or genius, one or the other. They don't know where to put us.
And they're still coming here. They're laughing at us, but they're still coming here.
But see,
exactly.
And honestly, you know, the funny,
everything.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the funny thing is like, you know, with these people coming in, it's like that's what you don't want, you know, during the pandemic. But you know, hopefully these vaccinations and shit. Yeah, I agree with you, Angelique. You're right. Every place we went to, remember that time we hung out and went to this place, yeah, with Courtney and shit. You know, there's like a lot of places they don't really give a fuck. And I'm like, well, I guess they have great medical insurance because I sure as hell don't. Because I'm like, you know, I was a little worried about that. Yeah, we are crazy. I mean, we did have hurricane parties, but you know, I think I have to. I did. I think that the one thing is that we need. I kind of agree with though is like now that we have this vaccine out, you know, and it's people's choice. I think that you know we can relax a little bit, and it is in July. You know, and hopefully by then, you know, more people are getting vaccines. There is argument with, you know, Republican men not doing it. But, you know, I think that that's the one thing that why we shut down is we didn't have anything to actually combat this thing that's killing people. So I think that, you know, maybe this could be a good thing, but, you know, it could all blow up in our faces, you know, just like that one girl when she was driving.
It's everybody's looking waiting for the train to wreck, right? No, I was going to say he also stopped the mandate for the vaccine passport.
Right.
He shut that down. He did when he did that shit. It was so funny. It was like they said, "Oh, vaccine passports." The next day, he was like, "No vaccine passport." I felt like that old commercial where the guy snuffs the shot and he's like, "Not in my house." Right. But he's just like, "Nah, that ain't happening." He's like, "Vaccine what? Nah."
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of friends in New York, and like we take that, you know, very seriously because we live closer to each other. And I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but you know, it's up to whatever, you know. Let's see how it works out. Hopefully, we all don't die from this. But hey, Death Santas. Oh, did I say that out loud? Anywho, guys.
Wow.
Yeah,
Death Santas. Okay.
I'm getting shut down. Like I got to.
That's new.
I hope it doesn't blow up, but unfortunately, I think with just the way things are, I think it's going to be really relaxed. The whole mandate about this has been removed. You don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. And I think it's going to blow up. And when it does blow up and it's worse than it was before, then all hell's going to break loose.
And you know what? And you know what? Hopefully we'll be right there when the fallout happens because we'll be talking about that shit too. So we'll see.